Hello and welcome to this review of Barton bourbon. Very old Barton, 80 proof, aged 4 years. It says crafted. Well, of course, anything's going to be crafted by machines or people. VOB, got the symbol there. Alright, bottled, doesn't say distilled, but it says bottled by Barton Distilling Company, Bardstown in Owensboro, Kentucky. So this could be coming in from Lawrenceburg, Indiana, one of their contract products. Well, regardless, I tried it, a little bit of it, in Bardstown at the distillery, along with the Barton 1792, their flagship premier bourbon. This is more like the flagship inexpensive bourbon, if you want to use the word cheap bourbon. Got the date, guys. K17 Kentucky, 17034, 34th day of 2017. It's aged 4 years. There's a 6 year, there's an 8 year, there's a bonded, there's a whole line of this very old Barton. Did some research. Apparently the trademark was acquired in 1964, and I believe the original Barton American blended whiskey is from 1953. They said on the tour they don't know why they even call it, they don't even know why they call it Barton. That was not the original name of the distillery, but somebody bought it and changed the name to Barton for whatever reason. Very common in Kentucky, not even sold in Louisiana, this brand. I think this bottle was like $4.99, something like that. Well, whatever, it was cheap, inexpensive. It would probably be about $8, $9, $10 a regular size bottle. I figured I'd start with the baseline. I did try a little bit of it already. They were making a lot of noise across the street with their incessant power tool equipment use. You know, so I got to tell you already, I thought it was rather dull. Not bad, nothing bad or unpleasant, just not a whole lot there. It's light amber, similar, maybe a little shade darker than what you get with Kentucky Gentleman. At some future point, perhaps I'd like to try the other Barton brands and Barton expressions, I should say. We'll see how they are. But let's look at this one now. A little bit of alcohol eggs. I like to do blind taste tests with this and the other bourbons I still have. See how it matches up. The aroma, yeah, it's got a little wood, honestly. Little char, little caramel whiskey type thing, your common whiskey aroma, but it's not a bold aroma. If you take Evan Williams, I think you'd find it's a much more bolder, stronger, or Jack Daniels, for instance, a stronger aroma experience from those two, or even Jim Beam. So it's mild, but there's nothing bad, off, unpleasant, or strange about it. Taste. There is char, there is oak, and the caramel standard whiskey flavor. Perhaps some dried flowers. The body's light to medium. The finish is moderate. It doesn't drop right off, but it doesn't linger around and get cloying or disgusting. It's just very standard, really. Nothing remarkable about it. I was reading some reviews on Proof 66, and they were saying it's just bad, it's a bad bourbon, and giving all these descriptors, and I'm thinking, no, it doesn't taste like that. I think if you were to remark and talk about, that's kind of dull, kind of bland, okay, I'll go along with that. But to say it's bad and horrible, I can't see that. Has a good deal more flavor than Canadian Mist, which we all found in our examination to be just virtually tasteless and odorless. It's just so dull. Probably this would be on par with Canadian Club. Canadian Club, from my recollection, I don't have any more left, was a little more candy sweet than this, and that is not a bourbon. Rather a Canadian blended whiskey, but overall, I don't think this is particularly different from the Canadian Club. And the price is similar. Canadian Club tends to be around $12 a bottle in this area at all times. This might be $1 cheaper. It's starting to display a little more charred wood, honestly. I said that twice, right? Honestly. Honestly, as opposed to usually when I'm lying, right, when I do videos. They're very upfront at the distillery. They tell you right off the bat, this is mainly used as a mixer. It's not a it's not a sipping and contemplative bourbon. I think as a mixer, an inexpensive mixer, it should do fine. Okay? If you're in Kentucky or wherever it's sold, like I said, not sold here. If you really want to save money on mixing and you just need the bulk 80 proof alcohol, then you might want to go with that Barton blended. Can't quite remember the name, but it's I have a bottle I have not opened yet. The Barton blended American whiskey, which is also 80 proof, and that was $5.99 a bottle in Frankfort, Kentucky. So that might work even better as far as comparing price to price to benefit type thing. So, but this is fine. I would recommend it with the consideration of what it is. Yeah, no complaints, and I'm going to be curious to see how it holds up in the taste challenges. Sometimes you can get surprised by that. I have some Underwood deviled ham. Never had it before. I always hear about it. I just finished talking to a friend who said, "Oh, it's much better than potted meat." He said, potted meat has no flavor. I found that it did have flavor. I had the Great Value, the Walmart potted meat, and I had the Armor. But it had some flavor. It's, low profile, kind of like this Barton. Well, let's see. We'll take a little bit of this Limburger cheese. I think it's best to fool around with Limburger after you taste the bourbon, because Limburger is going to interfere with everything. And I was already starting to pick up the aroma here. It's kind of crumbly when it's out of the fridge. If you let it set out for, I think they say on the Country Castle website, let it set out for 45 minutes or so, then it starts to breathe and get soft and buttery, but I'm not doing all that. All right. It's not particularly sharp of a cheese. I said that in a video when I meant to say pungent, and I said sharp, and then I watched the playback and I said, why did I say sharp? So it's pungent, or maybe if you want to be more truthful, explicit, it's just smelly. A smelly cheese. And people will say, oh, it smells like dirty feet or, sweaty feet. No, honestly, said it again. I don't know what this fixation is on honestly, but it's just a strong cheese aroma, which I think confuses people, and they start to say the sweaty feet. Let's try this Underwood deviled ham, introduced in 1922. The very Old Barton, by the way, is from 1964. I think the Barton blended whiskey is from 63. Okay. All right. Refrigerate after opening. I tend to do that. Snack on it over the next few days. All right, so all right, here we go. Underwood, famous canned meat, canned ham since 1922. I'm sorry, 1822. 1822. That really works. Spiced ham, chopped, spiced canned ham. With the cheese and saltine, salt-free top, working really well. with the bourbon. Oh yeah. Thank you for watching this video production.